If you've stepped outside anywhere in the Central or Eastern U.S. recently, you've probably felt it, the deep biting cold that swept in with a vengeance, making even the shortest walk feel like a trek through the Arctic. The wind cuts through layers and the air itself seems to sting, reminding us that winter is far from over. After a brief and almost deceptive warm-up, winter has returned in full force, and the main culprit behind this dramatic shift is the polar vortex, a term you've probably heard a lot lately. But this isn't just your average January chill, it's a relentless, persistent cold snap that's gripping the region and shows no signs of letting up anytime soon. Temperatures are plunging well below normal, and the cold is expected to linger. The polar vortex, a massive swirling pool of Arctic air high in the atmosphere, has dipped much farther south than usual, sending waves of frigid temperatures across much of the country and blanketing cities and towns in a deep freeze. And this isn't just a one-day event. Meteorologists warn that this pattern could dominate our weather for several weeks, bringing not only cold, but also the potential for more snow and ice. So, it's time to dust off your heaviest coats, pull out those scarves and gloves, and get ready for a sustained winter blast. For many, this means adjusting daily routines, preparing homes and vehicles, and finding ways to stay warm and safe. In this episode, we'll break down exactly what the polar vortex is, how it's shaping our weather right now, and what you can expect in the coming weeks as this cold pattern continues. We'll also take a closer look at the impacts on major cities like Chicago and New York, explore the types of winter weather you might encounter, and share practical tips on how to stay safe and prepared during this extended cold spell. So, are you ready to face the cold head-on? Bundle up, stay alert, and let's dive into the science and story behind this winter's polar vortex. Here's everything you need to know about this season's polar vortex, and how it could shape the weeks ahead. The polar vortex might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's actually a normal and essential part of our planet's atmosphere. Picture a gigantic, swirling mass of low-pressure and intensely cold air that sits high above the North and South poles. This powerful system is always present, circling the polar regions like a massive icy crown, and it plays a crucial role in shaping our weather patterns. For most of the year, the polar vortex stays locked up far to the north, held in place by a band of strong, fast-moving winds called the polar jet stream. These winds act like a barrier, keeping the coldest air trapped near the pole and away from the rest of the world. When the vortex is stable and the jet stream is strong, it keeps the frigid air bottled up tight. This means winters in the U.S., Europe, and Asia are often milder, with fewer extreme cold snaps. But sometimes, the polar vortex weakens or gets disrupted, often by sudden warming events high in the atmosphere or shifts in global weather patterns. When this happens, pieces or lobes of Arctic air can break away and spill southward, unleashing a deep freeze across much of the northern hemisphere, including the US, Europe, and Asia. It's important to know that this isn't the entire vortex moving overhead, but rather a chunk of its bitterly cold air breaking loose and plunging south, bringing sudden and severe cold snaps. So, when meteorologists talk about a polar vortex event, they're referring to these dramatic southward surges of Arctic air, not the whole vortex itself. It's a bit like leaving your freezer door wide open on a winter day. Suddenly, all that cold air rushes out and chills everything in its path, making temperatures plummet. Right now, that freezer door is wide open, and millions of people are feeling the effects. Bundling up, bracing against icy winds, and dealing with snow and ice in places that don't usually see such extreme winter weather. The reach of the polar vortex is stretching far beyond its usual boundaries, sending waves of cold air deep into regions that are typically much warmer at this time of year. That's why this winter feels so intense and unforgettable, because the polar vortex has temporarily changed the rules, bringing the Arctic's chill right to our doorsteps. The jet stream is the polar vortex's partner, a fast-moving river of air high above us that acts as a boundary, separating cold from warm. Imagine it as a powerful, invisible current snaking its way around the globe, shaping the weather we experience every day. This river of wind is crucial for moving weather systems and can have dramatic effects on our daily lives, especially in winter. When the polar vortex is strong, the jet stream flows straight and fast, acting like a wall that keeps frigid Arctic air locked up in the far north. But when the vortex weakens, the jet stream loses its strength and starts to meander, becoming wavy and unpredictable. These big dips and bends allow Arctic air to escape and plunge much farther south than usual, bringing sudden cold snaps to places that might otherwise be mild. Right now, a big ridge over the west is keeping things unusually warm there, while a deep trough over the Midwest and east is funneling cold air southward. This setup is classic for creating sharp temperature contrasts across the country, with some regions basking in sunshine, while others brace for bitter cold. This stubborn pattern is expected to last for at least another week or two, locking in these dramatic differences. The result? The West stays mild and relatively comfortable, while the Central and Eastern U.S. are stuck in the freezer, dealing with relentless cold and frequent snow. Repeated waves of cold air will reinforce the chill, making it feel like winter just won't let go. Each surge of Arctic air brings more snow, more wind, and more challenges for anyone living in the path of this deep freeze. It's a classic setup for a prolonged winter cold spell, the kind that tests our patience and our snow shovels. The jet stream's dramatic shape is driving our weather extremes, acting as the atmospheric engine behind this deep freeze. As long as it stays wavy, expect more wild swings in temperature and more winter drama across the country. Let's look at how this cold is hitting major cities. In Chicago, highs will swing from near average to 10-20 degrees below normal. Think afternoons stuck in the teens. New York City will see highs 5-10 degrees below average, with many days barely reaching the 20s. This isn't a quick cold snap. It's a series of reinforcing Arctic blasts. Brief warm-ups will be followed by another plunge, keeping the region locked in a cold pattern. Just days ago, many areas were enjoying a January thaw. Now, it's a shock to the system. The rapid shift from mild to frigid is what makes this cold so intense. Across the Midwest and Northeast, the message is clear. Winter is here, and it means business. Get ready for a roller coaster of temperatures, but mostly, expect the cold to stick around. The numbers don't lie. This is a serious winter chill. With Arctic air in place, we're not just dealing with cold. Specific winter weather threats are on the way. Massive snowstorms are unlikely, but fast-moving Alberta clippers will bring bursts of light to moderate snow. Each clipper is followed by another shot of cold, with gusty winds and blowing snow. Lake-effect snow will hammer areas downwind of the Great Lakes, with some towns buried while others see just flurries. Snow squalls, brief, intense bursts of snow and wind, can create sudden whiteouts and dangerous travel conditions. These squalls move quickly but pack a punch, especially on highways. The pattern favors repeated, localized snow events rather than big storms. Stay alert for rapidly changing conditions, especially if you're traveling. The cold air will keep these threats coming for days to come. Winter's not letting up anytime soon. Meteorologists are watching for signs of an even more intense cold blast later this month or early February. A sudden stratospheric warming event over the Arctic could disrupt the polar vortex even further. If this happens, the jet stream could plunge deeper, unleashing record-challenging cold across the central and eastern U.S. Temperatures could drop 20, 30 or more degrees below average for days. The timing and intensity are still uncertain, but the signals are strong. We're in a watch-and-wait phase, monitoring the stratosphere for clues. The coldest part of winter may still be ahead. Stay tuned. This story isn't over yet. Snow and ice on the ground make cold air even colder. Fresh snow reflects up to 90% of the sun's energy, so the ground, and the air above it, stays frigid. At night, snow helps the ground lose heat fast, chilling the air even more. That's why the coldest nights happen over deep snowpack. In past cold snaps, snow cover helped temperatures plunge 20–30 degrees below average. As we look ahead, the extent of snow and ice across the Midwest and Great Lakes will determine just how cold it gets. More snow means colder days and nights if another Arctic blast arrives. The snow acts like a refrigerator, locking in the chill. Watch the snowpack. It's a key player in this winter's story. While the current pattern suppresses big East Coast storms, there's always a wild card. A major nor'easter would require a blocking high near Greenland to slow the jet stream and trap a storm along the coast. Some models hint at this setup late next week, but details are highly uncertain. Forecast disagreement is common this far out, so it's too early to call for a blockbuster storm. For now, the main story is persistent cold and fast-moving clippers. But stay tuned. Winter can change quickly. Meteorologists are watching for any signs of a major storm. The wild card remains, but the cold is the headline. With extreme cold and snow, safety comes first. Dress in layers, cover exposed skin, and wear wind-resistant outerwear. Watch for frostbite and hypothermia. Get indoors if you notice numbness, confusion, or shivering. Limit time outside and avoid overexertion. Protect your home. Let faucets drip. Open cabinet doors and have an emergency kit ready. Keep your car stocked with blankets, snacks, and a flashlight. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly and vulnerable, and bring pets inside. Stay informed with the latest forecasts and be ready for power outages. Simple precautions can keep you and your family safe through this Arctic blast. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll get through this winter together.